Okay, Mike, just walk away. Leaving it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Okay. All right, this is day 3 on this Ford Ranchero. We're back at it, getting some more things done. More parts came in. I also just realized I forgot to bring more fuel line. This is the 3rd day I forgot, but we're going to look past that. This radiator is probably the original or close to. And from the minimal times I've drove this, I've noticed there's a little pinhole down here located by the upper radiator hose neck. And it had been repaired at one point. Looks like they brazed over it or something. Maybe JB welded it. I can't quite tell. But I've noticed a slight bit of leaking out of it. And these things go $250, $300 brand new. We're putting money more into the safety stuff right now and making it run. Obviously, radiators also are key importance. But if this thing's already leaking slightly with the little pinhole, I figured let's try to repair it and see if that works. All right, let me take you down here to the leak. As you can see, this is an old repair where it's leaking from. So we are putting a repair over one. But this was done semi-proper where it was brazed over. So it's durable, but they must have missed the spot that just popped through after years. And another good sign of it leaking is this discoloration in the radiator. All those copper fins, all the paint's come off from it, just always leaking. I mean, this thing's probably been leaking for who knows how long, but we're trying to make this a daily driver. For now, budget-wise, patching it's going to be cheaper, and maybe in a year, get a new radiator, nice new aluminum one or something, especially for those hot summers, help keep this engine cool and last longer. We're going to be using this little, it's not little, this flashlight called a jet light. I used it a lot on aircrafts. Don't know why, but they plug into aircraft and you just rig up the wiring. Anyways, this is a halogen light. It gets pretty warm. Like right now, it's nice and toasty. So I'm using this as a makeshift heat lamp, just setting it over that area as I talk about this first. And then we'll get the patch out. We're going to clean it, brake cleaner, get it all set up. So I'm going to keep letting this warm up. It's still very cold. And while it's doing that, I'm going to pull out this and see what we're working with, what it's going to take to use. Like I said, I did some research. They claim this can be a permanent repair. And I feel like it might be. This is a little pinhole, so we might get lucky. Comes with a fiberglass patch, which will hopefully have my scissors. We'll cut down. Probably only use a little bit here. I don't want to use that whole thing. Then your 2 compounds we're going to mix together, and 1 mini popsicle stick. If anyone's actually done this stuff, let me know how it's worked for you, because I won't be able to give any advice until probably a month or so from now after this has been on the car and running. But I also know whenever you're doing JP Weld, I think that's why they give you this big tray. You mix everything in there. So instructions, it's just quick. Prepare, remove all dirt, grease, fuel, breeze, loose tabs for the air, repair, rough and smooth surface. We got that. Squeeze one side of the pouch until the liner seam breaks. Combine part B and 3 thoroughly, needling, comma, divide for 1 minute. Apply. Cut the pouch, half epoxy over the damaged area, including applicator. Cut fiberglass piece over the first layer of epoxy. Using remaining epoxy, cover the cloth. Okay, so we're just sandwiching it in there. Dry epoxy sets for 5 minutes. Cures for 4 hours. If possible, test a small amount of liquid in the affected areas before completely filling tank. I didn't think about that. The tank still has some water in it, doesn't it? It's kind of at the top, though. I think it's leaked down. Maybe we'll have to drain a little out. Didn't think about that part. Anyways, so yeah, you just push it till one busts open, and we're going to knead it, and then we're going to squeeze it. We're going to cut this, place it on there, squeeze the rest on there. So that's easy. I'm going to get over there. I'm going to clean it up real quick, come back, prep this, make sure that water's below the hole, and I'll show you how that goes. So you don't need to see me mixing or draining, or maybe you will. We'll see. Okay, I just want to bring you in. This is a just wired it real quick with a brush. It's already looking cleaner. You can see, there you go. So there's the old patch, and I think it's just seeping out places. I mean, it might not be. This might have been from an old leak, and this was their repair. I don't know. We'll find out. I'm going to do it anyways because I don't think it'll hurt did I just, for, yeah, I just pushed some of those fins down. That's cool. It's not going to hurt to just make sure this doesn't leak. Even though it might actually be fixed, we're going to just ensure that it's fixed. I'm going to say bear with me because this is going to be one continuously long shot, because once I start this, it's going to be messy. I don't want to touch my camera and get crap all over it. That just keeps unraveling the fiberglass, my can of brake cleaner. Get our pouch. Quick setting seal reinforced epoxy pouch. Firmly apply pressure to the lower half of pouch, kneading entire pouch until product is thoroughly mixed. Which side do you squeeze? Oh, that side. Look at that. Ooh. See, this is, I don't know, the last time I used JB Weld for anything was, I'd say, years and years. This is revolutionary, I'm not going to lie. This pouch, this is freaking awesome, guys. JB Weld's watching this. Whoever made this is thinking. It says neat at the bottom, but I can't get the black to the white that well. So we're just going to knead the whole thing. Look at that. And then you just do a little rip. This is the best JB Weld experience I've had so far in my life. Oh yeah, I can smell it. Smells like it. I'm gonna start, nope, don't you make a mess though. Start coating it, getting all the little holes filled that could be the culprit with, nope. Now, I'm gonna grab our patch, and I can't find my scissors, so I'm hoping I can cut this with the razor blade. I'm gonna cut off the bit that is fraying already. Trying to keep the fraying down. Now, measure that. Doing a pretty good size patch here. Tuck it up inside everywhere, kind of smash it down. I'm gonna get that stuff to kind of seep through like that. Do probably a 1/4 inch bigger than the whole section. This will be about good enough right here. Oh yeah, it's set up pretty much. I think that's it. Yeah, it's all hardened. So that was a quick 4 minutes, that's for sure. My popsicle stick is stuck. No, no, no. Oh no. Come on, the whole thing's coming off. Come on. Okay, not my best moments. It's there. Oh my gosh, what is okay, so it just gets a mess after about, you have 4 minutes. Time yourself. Okay, I don't know if that's gonna be a fail or not. I should have had that patch cut, and truthfully, I don't even think I needed the fiberglass patch because I'm not trying to fill a top. Not trying to fill a hole or patch a really big crack. It's really just getting those little pinholes. And I think the patch messed me up more than it helped. Okay, Mike, just walk away. Leaving it. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Okay. I'm actually happy with it now. I was able to push into it, make sure it's nice and like pushed into all the grooves. It actually looks pretty good. Never proud of doing JB Weld stuff, but this stuff seems like it probably will work. We'll put this little jet light on it, keep it nice and toasty. No, I think I'm happy with it. I think that's going to actually work. I'm going to go rinse my hands now because luckily, like I said, the chemical reaction already happened. So it's tearing. There's not, it gets hot. It gets really hot. Oh, okay. Okay, hands are washed. Going back to the Ranchero. I'm going to do a quick rundown of what it all happened and what I just found out that was good and wasn't good. So if any of the stuff previously didn't make any sense, let me go over it. First, see how big of an area you're going to deal with. cut that little fiberglass piece to that size. Second, if it is just little pinholes, I really don't think this fiberglass is going to do anything for you, so don't even bother, like me. If you are going to be using it, cut that first, get it ready. 3, bust your packet open, start kneading it. You got 4 minutes, knead quickly. I thought it wasn't kneaded enough, but it was. It might not look like it, it's probably good. 4, rip it open. I would say coat the area you're going to do and repair first. Go ahead and put a little bit on that fiberglass piece as well. Make sure it's infused with the JB Weld. And we can keep that lamp on it, so before I leave the shop, I know at least it might be dry. Okay, so I'm in the Falcon at the shop here, or the Ranchero. It's a Falcon with a truck bed. Put some gas in it, and we're gonna go hopefully take this all the way to my house, because it needs a good buffing and waxing, and I want to get in here and do some more cleaning up, get the suspension components basically, so I can just have it in there ready to go whenever I can work on it and get it done this week. So yeah, we're gonna start it up and hopefully make it home. And for some reason these seats only go back so far and I barely fit, but it's ready to go. I checked everything, for the most part works. Turn signals, brake lights, don't think the horn works, but the headlights work. The temperature gauge does not work, the fuel doesn't work, because I filled it up and it didn't move. So that's something I want to maybe address. But it shifts great. The radio works, so we'll start it up. Oh, give it a pump. There we go. So it's good. That clutch needs a little more adjustment. I can hear it if you push all the way in, but truthfully, I think I'm going to be the only one that would ever push it all the way down with my longer legs. So I'm going to cruise it. I forgot mostly everything else to film, but if anything crazy happens, I'll film it, but I'm hoping to just make it straight home with no issues. So let's go. And I'm going to say the 3 on the tree is weird to drive. This is the first time I ever drove 3 on the tree, to be honest. And it's weird because you're like, as if you're just shifting it into park. I think that's first gear. Okay. Nope, that was third. There's first. But man, for the clutch, I'll show you. When I let it all the way out, my knee is to there. And the clutch doesn't kick in till right here. So that's frustrating. But here we go. Second. Oh yeah, that mirror's busted. And then there's no RPM gauge, the speedo doesn't work, so I'm kind of just going off of sound, and we'll hit third, and we're good. It made it. Drove it from the shop to the house, whole maybe 8 miles, give or take. We made a stop at AutoZone, grabbed some new plugs, because it might need it. Kind of running a little rough, but we're going to tune it up. But it made it all the way here. Pretty impressed. It drove smooth for suspension being a little scary. It's first, I think, maiden voyage since I got it, because we towed it to the shop. Here we are. So what I'm going to do now, before I pull it into the garage and start tearing into it, I'm going to give it a good wash and get those sad looking mirrors. We're going to get those off, get some new ones on it. I'm going to give it a good scrubbing, good wash, and just for today, it's super nice out, and we don't know what it's going to be, but it's beautiful outside, so it's a good day. Let's wash this thing. Let's scrub it, clean it. Eventually, I'll get into buffing it, but we're going to do a quick scrub. The nice thing about a Ford Ranchero is you can carry all your spare parts in the bed with you, but then also they leak oil everywhere. And I'm going to just kind of fold this up. I'll get this wood out of the way. Okay, I don't even know what's under here, but we're going to get it all cleared out. All right, get that oil off. I might get that pressure washer going for this bed and really blow it all out and get it clean. get some degreaser on here because this is going to be nasty. That's died. Ran out of gas. That's as clean as it's gonna get for now. Pressure wash the tires themselves. Some weird red dirt came out. I don't even know where that would have been from. So now I'm gonna put away the pressure washer, and we're gonna start doing that Bonami scrub a dub. And I'm gonna get rid of these mirrors real quick. Let me see. One of these is their newer can. I think it's this one. Bonami. So it's very similar to Comet in the sense that it's a gritty, substance, but no chemicals. I don't even think it has cleans home without dye, perfume, or chlorine. That's what Comet has, I think, is chlorine. So it's just two ingredients: is towel soap and feldspar. But I've used this before. It works really good, and you don't get chemically in like hands, whatever. So we're gonna be doing some Bonami scrubbing today on this. So I'm gonna give it a spray, sprinkle this everywhere, get some rags, really just kind of clean it up, and see what the before and after is. So I got this all done. I'm gonna give it a quick scrub before I do the Bonami powder, just so I can get some of the easy dirt off, and then we'll go back over and start scrubbing that thing down. Taking it, peeling it off, and I just, truthfully, just like any Comet wash, just sprinkle it on there. So I'm just working down the car, starting with the top because I don't want to kneel yet. Sprinkle it on there. On all those scratches you probably kind of saw, you just scrub it and it gets rid of it. So now I get the task of getting this whole car scrubbed, and you really want to make sure you rinse it off, because if you don't, you'll have some weird chalky residue all over. I mean, a white car is gonna be hard to tell, but on any darker color car you will see it. So I'm gonna keep going at it. This is just a long, tiring process, and I'm gonna work through the whole car, getting help. It's gonna help get off all those little scratches, everything. Then we're gonna come back, we're gonna do some buffing and everything. Bonami, whatever it's called, done. Quick soap scrub to get it all off, and it's looking really good. It's still wet, so obviously it's gonna look shiny, but you can already tell, or I can at least, all the weird black that was dripping down and everything is looking a lot better. Cool. So I'm gonna dry it off, wipe down any places I missed, and then we're gonna eventually get to buffing it and other stuff. Woo! That's gonna do it. It is dried, and it actually has a shine. So excited. It looks so much better. Chrome shined up pretty well. We're gonna come back with some chrome polish and hit it up. But for now, this car is looking so fine. Okay, day probably 7 of Ranchero fixing, rebuilding, and making a daily driver out of it. So I've pulled the seat out because it's broken down here. You can see some of those springs popped out. That's the driver's side, so you sit super weird in it. We're gonna try to fix that. First, so we pulled the seat out, we're going to check out the inside, and it's not terrible. All right, let's get to vacuuming. And it's cold, and my fingers are cold. Everything is cold. All right, let's get a little closer so you can see what I'm talking about. There's just wire sticking up. This spring not attached to anything. And this one looking like it's not supposed to be attached to whatever that is. We're just gonna get the pliers and unbend some of these hog rings. So I'm gonna start on this. There it is. It looks like they're supposed to be up in this groove up in here. Take all the crap they added to it, taking that all out and trying to restart from fresh. So there's these hog rings all over. All of our springs pushed to the side. This is that final spring, which I'm gonna leave because it's attached to a lot of the seat back in here. And it looks like they put some more where they shouldn't have been, but it's holding it pretty well. These springs aren't broken. This one isn't broken, and it is all attached up here still. This, though, I don't know what that's doing right there. Doesn't look like it's over here, or at least I don't notice it's over there. All right, well, let's see here. Here's another broken. This is what I'm talking about. There you go. That's where those slide into, and they're broken. So we gotta get everything back into here. And also, I don't know what this is doing. Okay, so I'm gonna keep just messing around with this for a little bit and just try to think it through on what to do, because it is not in the greatest shape. Luckily, this side looks pretty good and put together. So we're gonna go off of the passenger side to fix the driver's side seat. Probably add some extra foam where it's been worn out under here. Just stick a nice solid piece under these springs will help for sure push it up. I'm just gonna figure out where all these go and how they're supposed to go. And if I figure something out, I'll come back, but I'm just gonna keep messing with this until I think I get it right. Okay, so this is what I came up with. I've done 2 of them so far, and it seems to be working okay. I pulled this out of there. This, I don't even think is part of it. I think it was an extra support. So I'm probably gonna end up I'm gonna use it somewhere in the middle to kind of help push it up. But let me show you what I did. I cut off some more of the springs right here. So this was somewhere like, I don't know, something on here, and the piece was broken. So what I did is I cut off that broken piece, and I'm now sliding it through there. So then we just stick that in, and I got to pound that down so it comes through the other end and hits this little stopper. So that's what I'm doing. This piece is in, that one's in. So I got to do this one real quick, get it so it comes through and sits right there, and then we'll come in and connect them all. And I'm going to probably get some more foam that I have sitting around and fill it in, because I think with cutting this spring we're getting a little bit of the height gone, but it's now not going to sink in like it was doing. So let's see what kind of foam I have. I have a couple different pieces that are different thicknesses, so I'm going to try a couple different pieces to see what works the best in there. But let's get that piece smacked in there. So what I'm doing is using this big old basically punch, and I'm hitting each end to just push it down a little more. Oh jeez, so much crap. Okay, so that's pushed in. Now, yep, there it goes. So you can see now that it sticks out right here, like all the other ones. So it's more locked in than it was. Now, I'll probably run some wire and connect all of them. Some thicker 40 gauge wire or something that I have lying around. Okay, so now that I got them all pretty well situated in there, at least the springs are in for the most part, I'm going to run some thick gauge wire across them to just kind of link them, you know, from there to there, from there to there, just kind of tie them in together, kind of like what this was doing for these corner pieces. Like get this back on and then connect these to there. That way they're kind of all unison and it'll help from it sinking in certain spots. This might work. So like I said, I'm gonna put a little foam in there too so it pushes it out. But I think that's gonna do it. Update real quick on the seat repair. Just gonna bring you in to show you where I'm at right now. And so far, so good. So I've threw in extra foam, as you can see underneath. Couldn't get underneath this one, but I think that'll be fine. It kind of pushing it. I don't think there's an issue. Now, what I'm doing is linking them all with a little bit of safety wire, only because that way it's a little more stiffer. All the springs kind of move. Originally, that's probably what they would have been, is attached to each other in a way. But I only got a couple more to do, so I'm just doing little loops to hold them all together so it kind of goes up and down as a unit instead of one at a time and kind of whatever. But I'm going to keep putting these around it. I'm just doing little loops around the corners of each one there and then just twisting them. That should fix our messed up seat problem. Okay, so yeah, I don't have the back in it yet, but I can tell you it's holding my weight. You can, I mean, that's not, it's a lot better than I think it was. I think you sit about right here in the car. It's still a little saggy. Let's see, compared to the driver's side. Well, actually, the driver's side sinks way lower. So that's good, actually. I thought, you know, sit a little lower in this one and a little up higher. Got that nice. And, yeah, no, that's actually not too bad. You sit up a little higher. It's definitely more spring to it. Put this back in and get a one final test. It should hold up pretty well, so. All right, we're on to the next stuff. Here is the back of our seat. And if you could see this pin here, or rod that's sticking out, that's all that it goes in. So in the middle, there's a place for it to go. And then one of these is sticking on the outside of the bottom of the seat and it goes through that hole. Don't know, these screws must have been some trim that's not there anymore. But it's fairly simple. Now, bring it down, you can see what I'm talking about. Our seatbelt's gonna go through there, that pin, and that's it. So that hole right there will go through that. Now we're gonna come over here, and this is the tricky part. Inside there, it's too dark. Inside here is another hole, and that's where the pin for the seat is gonna go in. There. Huh. That's the little washer in there. Now we just stick that in there. So that does it for this. And then all these seats do is just fold back one at a time now, obviously. No, there's no way of locking them or anything. And you get back to your little storage area. Pretty cool. And I think this is as far back as the seats will go, which is bizarre. And what I'm assuming, it's because somebody put the seat holes in the wrong spot when they did the floor pans in this car, which is fine because I'm tall and I don't drive it. Person short that drives it, so it's not a big issue. But yeah, there's no way this is as far back the seat goes, because I'll show you how tight it is. I'm going to slide over to this side, because again, I put it too close to the wall. I don't want to move it. And I put my big old feet and boots over here. And now, seat is okay. I think it'll be fine. But like I said, this is... That's the ladder. It's as far back as it goes, which puts me right there. And since I fixed the seat, I'm now not sitting so low in the car. It's better. Definitely think this is going to be a nicer ride for them. And then the seat belts click in, and you are set. Nice. I like it. Teal belts in a brown car. Oh well. I still think it looks good. Yeah, this is going to be fun driving this around now, because that's the pushing in the clutch. There's my knee. Ow. Cool. Interior is pretty much buttoned up. Squeeze out this way. Whoa. And right. All right, that's going to do it for this Ranchero episode. There's still lots more to come. As you see, it's not in the garage anymore. I drove it back to the shop so we could use the lift and do some more work on it underneath. But that's going to wrap it up. We got some small things done and some big things like scrubbing it down with Bon-Ami. I like using it, like I said, instead of the Comet because it's just not chemical. So it doesn't destroy your hands and it doesn't hurt the environment, essentially, since you're washing it down the drain. Also fixed that seat issue. It was sagging, rebuilding some of those springs and just kind of fixing it up. It's not that difficult. You don't need to get a new seat. You can probably just take it apart and put it back together and it fixes it with a little extra foam. Also got new seat belts in. We got that JB Weld patch repair, so we're gonna see how that does. Well, I'm 50-50 on it, but we'll come back to see if that works or not. And that'll do it. So thanks again for watching this Ranchero project for this little quick end of the year. Seems like I'm always doing this. Last year was the MG, now it's this Ranchero, but it's fun to do something for someone else and be able to clean it up, fix it, get it driving for them again so we can give it back and they can enjoy their old classic car. So stay tuned. So if you need to know more on what to do with your classic to make it a daily, keep watching. And it was cool to be here.